So it came back to life in May 2015 with big lottery funding under the supervision of Nacro. And we have an open door policy here at Switch. So we've got women from, as soon as we open those doors at 8:30, we've got women coming in and out and having cups of tea and cake, and there's always loads of naughty stuff in the office. But we just provide that atmosphere, that safe environment for women to come in and have those conversations and ask silly questions, or and hopefully one of us can kind of sit and spend time with that lady so she feels safe, that she can get that support that she needs at that time.
Can you say when?
Yeah.
Bit louder. Bit louder.
Okay.
When?
When I saw my face as beautiful, when I danced in sadness and in tears.
When I loved my feelings of inadequacy and swam in my lake of fears.
I'm beautiful because I've got makeup on.
When I embraced anxiety like a long-lost love.
And kissed the darkness until it was gone. When I lived alone, as whole, and loved as one.
When I saw this for myself, my doing was done.
I was focusing a lot on the community and young women, doing a lot of targeted work with young women around drugs and alcohol and sexual health. So this job kind of lended itself to that, and it allowed me to get on my little soapbox and just be an amazing opportunity to empower all these women. I mean, there's 5 of us in the team, and on a weekly basis we would hopefully have an impact on at least 40 women's lives. Do you know, you don't get that very often, so we're very, very fortunate.
I was in domestic violence for 5 years, mental and physical. He suffocated me back in June. I'd got no friends. It was a totally controlled relationship from start to finish.
I'd been on income support for a while and was trying to get myself back on my feet to go to work and get rid of a few issues.
We got brought up in a domestic violence relationship, and then me and my sister both went on to domestic relationships ourselves. So I want to kind of have a more normal upbringing. So when she's older, she'll be like, well, no, like I'm worth more than that, do you know what I mean? I'm better than this.
And like I've tried to start new qualifications and things, and Kelly's there to give me the confidence to do it.
I was a nobody. I was just somebody who went to work, come home, cooked. Now I feel like I'm a somebody, and my life's totally changed.
From day one, when like you're like, I'm leaving the house, I'm not going out. I'm not going anywhere. And now we, all day on a Thursday, activity after activity after activity.
Morning.
Classes.
Morning, I'm in.
But yeah, she's doing absolutely great. Massive, massive achievement.
I've got things to look forward to. I can choose what I want to wear, choose what I want to eat, choose what I want to do. I've got good friends. I've got a nice flat, and it's my flat, and I can do what I want to do, not be told what to do.
Yeah, you're like the special person behind the scenes, like, you can't see me, but I'm doing the work.
You can hear me, but you can't see me. Yeah.
There was loads of complications through the pregnancy because obviously it was one domestic after another. And then since he hasn't been around, and since Switch have helped me and I've calmed down myself, I think like you can see it in her, like now she's so content, it's unreal.
I've come through it, I've done it, and I'm going to keep happy, keep strong, and enjoy my life, because I feel my life's beginning now. It wasn't 5 years ago.
It's one of those things, and I'm a firm believer, if you empower a woman, she can then go on to empower other women. And it's it's just a ripple effect, because 9 times out of 10 a woman tends to be the centrepiece that holds things together. So if she can then be empowered and be creative and go on to live quite a fruitful life, then surely, where you would hope, fingers crossed, that would ripple through into her family and into the next generation and into all of her friends and family that she engages with. So if we can make those tiny, tiny changes with that one woman, hopefully we'll do our job on a grander scale, which will just be amazing.
So I wouldn't go into refuge anyways because obviously I couldn't take my dog. And then they'd finally accepted the dog into refuge. I'd moved in and Switch come knocking on my door.
And we knock on everyone's doors, introduce ourselves, tell them who we are if they're new, and what we're there for, and try and encourage them to come down and speak in the communal area, so it's not just in their flats.
No, the first time they come I never went down. The week after I'd gone down. And then from there, that's my beginning, basically.
But she needed really to protect herself and to start working on her own life, which at that present time when we met her, she wasn't doing.
So I couldn't stay in the house by myself before. My dog turned nasty. My dog wouldn't let no one near me. I was pregnant with the baby. And it got to the point where there was just me and my dog.
That was sort of a turning point in her life. She decided then that she can't keep living the way that she's living, and she needed to start doing something about it. And that's when she started fully engaging with us, and she wanted to get involved in everything that we were doing. And most importantly, she wanted to keep the baby that she was pregnant with, and that was the goal that she was aiming for.
They've changed me from this young, angry person that I thought the whole world was against to now, like, well, I've got full custody of the baby. My other little girl's on her way home. Like, I've just totally changed.
She looks after the baby very well. She's a brilliant mother, although she's closely monitored by social services, but they've got nothing bad to say about her. She's moved out of harbour and she now lives in one of our own Nacro housing. So she's got a lot of support around her, but I think she knows where she needs to go in life, but she needs this house to become settled and sort of plan where she needs to be. But as long as she's settled, then she can go from there, really.
Yeah, Terry was just like, Shauna, like, you've got the whole world ahead of you. You can do this, you can do that. And if it wasn't for Terry believing in me and standing by me step by step through it all, I wouldn't have done it at all.
So she's come on leaps and bounds. She's a different person to the first one that we met.
Every time there's a negative, Terry's always got a positive to go with that. So, like, no matter what happens, I've always got something to kind of look at.
Feels like an achievement for me that she's achieved something for herself, because we put the support in place, but they're the ones that actually do the hard work to get where they are.
No, that is, it's just being alert of the things, what's going on around you. So.
Due to the different skill sets, we can then offer loads and loads of women the right match, and that's what's important. So for some women, they do kind of want lots of sport focus and health and exercise, which is Terry's cup of tea, and other women, it's more about the creative and the art and that kind of more mindfulness and well-being, which kind of Lynn do. And then Jill and Kelly are just fantastic at the mentoring work. I've never known, specifically Jill, obviously, because she's been here for so long, match a mentor and a mentee so wonderfully.
I get the volunteers that, like me, wanted the experience, wanted to get out there. I get to see their journey, what jobs they go on to. People are forever. I've got someone that's just got a social worker job, someone that's doing teaching assistant. They're all going off on all these different paths, and it's great to see.
Just every day you come in, you just think, well, what's going to happen today? Because there's literally, somebody can come in and say, have we ever tried this, have we ever done that? Oh, well, no, actually. So we'll go off and research it and, well, this is what we need to do, this is how we're going to do it. And everybody gets behind it, which is lovely.
I couldn't work with a better team. We're only a small team, but there's different qualities in different people, and we kind of know when to pick each other up or when someone's down, and it's just we're so supportive of each other and of everyone else that we work with. Switch is the best.
We build such kind of intense relationships with some of our women that we work with that they go through our programme and ultimately they then want to give something back. They see that the project does make a difference and they've developed their own skill set as well, which is just so unique, and they've got the eyes that we need. Do you know what I mean? They've got the experience, which is just fantastic. So we grab that, harness it, and put them through the mentoring training, and then they become the most wonderful mentors. And again, it's something that they can then go on their own journey with, so they can get their experience and they can help others, ultimately with the goal of then getting them onto a journey to employment or further education.
Vinny literally came to us, application around end of July, trained August, and she was volunteering by the end of August. And it's just gone from there. Those 4 ladies that started the project, that started the knitting group, are still there. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
When I first started Switch, I was like doing the knitting stuff, and I was like, I don't really want to do this. I'll give it a few months, and I got into it, and that's literally what I thought. I'd have 1 knitting group, and that's it. Now I've got 3. We've even had people coming off the streets and say, oh, can I join your knitting group? And now she's a regular. And one of the lasses' friends, she comes and she's a regular, and she recently knitted some butterflies for our garden. So it's all going quite well. Well, who thinks they're going to Buckingham Palace? I mean, come on. It was down the Mall with like picnic tables all the way down, and it was absolutely fantastic. I met some other people who work for Nacro. It was just so brilliant. The Duke looked right at me, literally in my camera. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, you don't think you're going to be that close to royalty, really, do you? You got like the picnic basket. I don't use it as a picnic basket. I put like the cutlery you got with it, I've shot it in a drawer somewhere. Probably won't use it until whenever. But I've turned the box into a knitting basket. If you'd seen me a year ago, you'd be like, no, we're not putting her in front of the camera. She's obviously got no self-confidence, she's very low, and now look at me, I'm bouncing around. So it's absolutely fantastic. It's not just like the London trip, it's Switch and Nacro itself. It's really built me up, and I like it because then I can build other people up as well, and that's what it's all about.
I'm a crier when I get all emotional about the project because it's fantastic. I think from such a tiny little acorn that we planted last June to where we're at now, it's just amazing. I mean, look at our garden. We've got tomatoes growing. We never ever thought that we would have our own crop to grow and make our own soup and things in September when we've got tomatoes. And the women have done that themselves. And to see that grow, it's kind of just, it completely mirrors the project that's grown. It's just amazing. It'll make me cry. I am going to go.
We support them inside, and then we would then go on and do the ongoing support on the outside. So I would probably say our relationships with them is completely different to the ones who work there.
She'd never been out of the house. She wasn't doing anything. She was sat in the home constantly. And then to say, you know, I will support you to go and meet these people and I think you'll like them.
And she came.
Which was a huge thing for her anyway, wasn't it? To go around.
We can give support, but they have to do all the horrible stuff as well. Like if they're not being well behaved or if they need to get kicked out or whatever, and then we can support them in other ways.
If they leave there as well, they know that we can still obviously support them on the outside.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think they're a bit relieved when we tell them that. Because I don't think not a lot of them really realise, and I think that when they leave they won't get no more support from you, which they would,
but not as much as what they do now.
Our support stops once they
Oh, does it, as soon as it moves out?
We'll maybe go and do a visit, see them in the new home, see they're settled. We'll like take telephone calls from them and things. We'd bob out if there was something pressing that they needed some help with, but we haven't got funding
To
or the
support
staff or the
ongoing
resources
support.
to do ongoing support. So building those links with you while they're with us, and then that moving with them, it's brilliant.
So we kind of go in and do all the other little bits that they can't do. So that's why we call ourselves the glue, because we stick everyone together and we just finish off the job. We polish it off.
I do really think it's made a tremendous difference.
Oh, good.
I do, I really do. I would hate to think that you weren't going to be there now.
Yeah.
I think one thing for me is just a massive thank you, not only to the staff, because without them the project wouldn't be. We just wouldn't be as successful, and I do remind them a lot. And this project would not be as it is without that team and the volunteers. It just wouldn't, and that goes without saying. They're amazing. But I think a massive thank you to the women for having faith in us, because it's a lot when you're in that vulnerable place. For someone to come and you've got to relay your story for the 96th time, to then kind of think, oh, I've said this a million times and nothing ever gets done. For them to put their faith in us and kind of go, you need to tell us the last time and we'll help you. It's a massive thing. So thank you for them for having the confidence in us and letting us support them on their journey. And when when we see the positive outcome, it's amazing, but I can only imagine how they feel when they actually get a piece of paper with a certificate, or they get a new property, or they even just be able to walk down Redcassey Front on their own and buy an ice cream. Like, it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you.
When I saw my face as beautiful, when I danced in sadness and in tears, when I loved my feelings of inadequacy and swam in my lake of fears, when I embraced anxiety like a long-lost love and kissed the darkness until it was gone, when I lived as whole and loved as one, when I saw this for myself, my doing was done.
Come on, B, let's kill this. Sorry, I'm always talking to myself like that.
You're not the only one.
I know people say about, oh, it's a signing madness. I'm like, but everyone talks to themselves.
You get more sense out yourself than you do.
Exactly, and sometimes you need expert advice, don't you?
She's sat in there beaming. She's absolutely beaming.
Really proud of herself.
And then it's going home, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, for her to go, guess what I did yesterday? I was absolutely gobsmacked when she said she'd do it. I was like, yes.
It's nice.
Yeah, it is, it's amazing.
I enjoy watching them get together and do things together, things that they would never ever do before. I like to watch them become their own person and take control of their own life.
I feel like I've been given another chance and I'm really happy.
She knew what she wanted, so she just went for it. So proud of her. So it's a very, very rewarding job.
You make a lovely couple.
Yeah. We do indeed. We do, I would say that.
And it's going to go bigger. A lovely idea would be Teesside, whole of Teesside, if that's what we can get. But I would love to see it go kind of marry up and match the footprint of Nacro in the northeast, which would be lovely, and it would make sense because there's obviously the support that's needed throughout the northeast, so we could hopefully plug that gap.